Okay, so now I would like to summarize how to differentiate between each functional group. So let's say we have a molecule like this. So let's say we have CH3, CH2, CH3. Sorry. Another one is okay. So let's say we have these three molecules. So the first one, it does not have any functional group. So, but its molecule, the class of the compound is alkene. The second one, it only consists carbon and hydrogen. So the similarities between all these three is all only have carbon and hydrogen. But here we have a functional group which is C double bond C. So you can circle, and the functional group is C double bond, and the class of the compound is alkenes, alkene. And the third example, we have C triple bond C. Carbon triple bond, and it is an alkyne. Okay, so this is the first example, the difference between alkene and alkyne. So alkene does not have a functional group, but alkyne and alkene have carbon-carbon double bond or carbon-carbon triple bond. So meanings that the reaction will occur at this carbon-carbon double bond or carbon-carbon triple bond. Okay, now if we have CH3, CH2, Cl. So it is different. Okay, so this is the halogen. So the functional group is halogen actually, and the class of the compound is haloalkane, or sometimes we call it as alkyl halide. Okay, so let's look at another example. Let's say we have CH3, CH2, and then we have O, and next to the oxygen is hydrogen. And we have another example, CH3, we have O, and then we have another CH3. So the similarities between these is both have oxygen. Okay, so now we have to look at O. We have O, and next to the oxygen is hydrogen. Here, O, and next to the hydrogen, oxygen is hydrogen. So the functional group is these two, and we call it as hydroxy. Okay, because we have O, and next to the oxygen is hydrogen. For the second one, we have O, and next to the oxygen is carbon on this side, and also carbon on this side. So because of that, we can circle this, and the functional group is alkoxy. What is the class of the compound? So for this one, it is an alcohol, and for this one, it is an ether. Okay, next, what about this? CH3, C double bond O, and H. And another one, we have CH3, C double bond O, CH3. Okay, so we have C double bond O and also C double bond O. So the functional group is here, which is a carbonyl, and this one also. But the atom next to the C double bond O here is hydrogen. So because of that, it is the class of the compound is aldehyde. And for this one, because the atom next to the C double bond O is C also, it is considered as the class of the compound is a ketone. Okay? Okay. Right? So I hope you can differentiate between it. So next, if we have two okay, if we look at this example, both have 2 oxygen. This one 2 and this one also 2. But what is the difference between it? So if you look at here, C double bond O, if you only have 1 oxygen, it is a carbonyl. If you have 2, it is not a carbonyl. So C double bond O, and next to the C double bond O is O and H. So because of that, the functional group is carboxyl, and the class of the compound is carboxylic acid. And for this one, we have C double bond O, O, so almost the same with this one. The difference is this C here. If the atom next to the oxygen is hydrogen, it is carboxyl. But if the atom next to the oxygen is any carbon, so for this one, we call it as ester. The functional group is ester, and the class of the compound also ester. So it shares the same name between the functional group and the class of the compound. Right? So the next example is if we have this. So what is the difference between this? Okay, if we look at here, we have NH2, and here also we have NH2. The difference is this molecule have C double bond O in the middle, but this molecule does not have C double bond O. So because of that, for this molecule, this is the functional group, which is amino. And the class of the compound is amine. But for this one, because we have C double bond O, and then we have NH2, which is an amino group, so it is no longer an amino, but the functional group is a combination of these. The name is amide. Okay, and the class of the compound is amide also, amide too. Okay, amino, amine, and then amide, amide too. And the last one, okay, so let's say we have CH3, C triple bond N. So this is a cyano, and the class of the compound is nitrile. So I hope this summary will help you on how to differentiate between each functional group. If we have a large molecule, do focus on the functional group. Okay, so you can ignore the rest of the atom because that actually is a distractor for you to identify the functional group. Only focus on the functional group and look at the atom next to it. Right? So thank you very much.